this party, girl, do you have the time? 'Cause I think we're ready for the party of our lives. Ladies, move your hips, sing with the bass hit. Taking selfies with your friends, hashtag fabulous.
With fellas, take a hit and jump in the mosh pit. They're a hole into the floor until the cops come in.
Crank it up, crank it up. I need to feel the tempo. It's time to start the party, so get ready to take off. Crank it up, crank it up, crank it up a level. It's time to start the party, lock into the tempo.
Excuse me, Mr. Party Bro, do you have the time? 'Cause I think that we're ready for the party of our lives. And let's catch a vibe and kick it to overdrive. Fist pump up to the sky like the roof's on fire.
Ladies, feel the high and make the energy rise. Go wild like the night's the last party of your life. Crank it up, crank it up. I need to feel the tempo. It's time to start the party, so get ready to take off. Crank it up, crank it up, crank it up a level. It's time to start the party, lock into the tempo.
우리 모이지 야생 사이쇼 고에게 무거운 이미루와 오야노 우지 무거운 이미루
Congratulations, Insta. Hell yeah.
昨晩の遭遇戦で
Vulture. Vulture.
After a quite a sort of violent night, an assassination attempt on the queen, one of the party members being sort of discovered to be a human with connections to the Empire, a nation that is very much so in war with the dynasty where we are at. We started the last session with Talion, Captain Talion, speaking with
Who's that Pokemon?
Here, about sort of discussing how much they can trust Alcina. After which, the party headed out to prove her innocence. We interrogated and deceived a captured Volstrucker agent and learned about the secret meeting place where Den Deviana, one of the sort of minor dens here in the city, has been plotting with the Volstrucker agents, these Scourgers, as they're known. We went on to investigate the sewers in the Ghostlands, and sure enough, found a bunch of drow who turned out to be Lolth worshippers. You thought you rooted out every sort of seed of villainy, but some still remain, it looks like. You found these Lolth worshippers bickering with a Volstrucker agent. Both sides seemingly having betrayed each other. As the mage sort of disappeared, the party was kind of discovered in some ways as a little battle broke out. You guys were able to clean it up very quickly through a very clever use of a pass wall spell as well, making it a lot easier to get in there. You finished off the remaining Maliceborn and are now heading upstairs, back onto the streets of Rosona to meet with Shadowhand Essek Thalis, who's on his way to Deviana Manor, where their den will be punished for treason. So, friends, as you all arrive into the firmaments above, the highest, most beautiful part of the city, the town is still struck by the news that is now spreading. There was an attack, a horrible attack that happened. The queen was in peril, but she lives yet. As we see a group of armored soldiers, better part of 50 or 80 or so of these sort of like mostly drow, a few sort of orcs in there, of the Aurora Watch, and at the head of them we see sort of floating a few inches off the ground the magically skilled and impressive Shadow Hand Essek Thalis of Den Thalis, whose rumors circle at this point, whose very brother was killed during this attack. You all see as he's sort of floating on along here, you see these guards are kind of moving quickly through the city here, and he kind of turns to all of you as the soldiers continue to kind of march on. He kind of looks over all of you, and he kind of glances over to Alcina and gives a nod. Alcina, you sent a little message during the fight there before, as he says, well, it seems that you have definitely proven yourself free of any guilt or involvement with this night's event. And on top of that, kind of looks to everyone here, says, you've discovered the last bit of rot within our kingdom here within the dynasty. Members of Den Deviana are going to be dispatched, captured, and interrogated for the involvement of the events of my brother's kidnapping. I'm heading there now with these Aurora Watchmen. More will come this way as well, but before their the leader of their den, a sorceress by kind, her name is Zin Deviana, the leader of Deviana Den, has a chance to disappear and teleport elsewhere. We are hoping to act quickly. You all, if you're interested, can come along here, but let me assure you, you have done more than enough to prove your innocence. If you wish to put this one final nail in the coffin of the children of Malice's presence within Jorhas, you'd be more than welcome to come with me.
Ayla will step forward.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to lie. I'm tired. You know, not an elf.
Understandable. It's been a long day. Everything happened very quickly. He looks to the rest of you to see if anyone else is coming.
Talion will drag forward the two captured Daviana clan members that he captured and hands them over to Essex guards. They've cooperated. They'll cooperate with us.
You see, again, looking sort of totally defeated, they just sort of nod along and lower their heads. You see,
I'm sure you can get some useful information out of them about the layout of their den. And we've closed off their only secret escape that we know of.
Excellent. Yeah, he sort of looks these over, and you see a sort of scowl on his face here. It says, take these to the Dungeons of Penance. Leave them for later. I will be doing the questioning myself. As you see a look of sort of a subtle, as subtle as it can be, look of anger. These people were directly involved in the disappearance of his brother. He says, excellent, then. Looks over to Ayla, says, Miss Inaris, if you would, please, with me. And he turns and starts walking away. Ayla, I don't believe you've told many people your last name.
No, she didn't.
At all. As I don't know if she notices it at that point. Once again, very angry. Everything's just happened recently, right? As he just sort of leads the way. And you and the rest of these soldiers come along as some of you head on back to get some rest finally for the night. Dev Dinyana's manor is well defended, all kinds of spellcasters and such, as the guards sort of surround them here, call out to them, surrender, your treachery has been discovered in the name of the queen, surrender and you may yet live. As you see some spells being thrown out at the guardsmen here, they are ready to defend themselves, as you see many of them sort of clutching symbols of Lolth around their neck, begging their goddess to come save them. This all stops in an instant as Essex sort of glides upwards and sort of opens his arms out. And as it does, you watch a crackling orb of darkness begins to appear above the house. A black hole rips open in reality, and the very roof and walls of the building are become sundered and drawn into the abyss above. All sort of compressed as you watch as this black hole sort of disappears, falling from the very center of where like the top floor of the building was fully kind of destroyed now and dragged into the black hole. Instead of the black hole, there just remains a orb of perfectly compressed Lolth worshippers, pieces of building, roof tiles and such that just sort of falls down as he sends forth another pulse wave. A forceful push impact that rips the doors open as the guardsmen rush on in. Ayla, you sort of rush on in with these guardsmen here as you guys begin to eventually enter the sort of the kind of not a throne room necessarily, but sort of like a main foyer where people would sort of enter and be greeted. Atop the stairs there, you see a exhausted, tired, like sweat pouring down the sides of her face. This dark elven woman with a staff, like a two-pronged staff with dark energy sort of wrapping around it, as Essek calls out to her saying, Zin Deviana, you are under arrest for treason against your fellow Dark Elf and Dynasty members. You are to surrender now, or we will be forced to use violence. seconds. As she looks on around, you see her guardsmen are sort of falling, losing the battle here. Instantly, spells being chucked at them here as she immediately begins to conjure spells. Says, I've spent decades, hundreds of years even, preparing for a golden opportunity. The fool she was, Viverk Tan, the head mistress, the matron mother of Doomeran, wasted it all away. We were here the whole time, blade in your ribs. And instead, she let it all slip through our fingers. May the Spider Mother devour her soul forever after. But me, I will fight to the very bitter end. You may kill me here. You may kill the rest of the Maliceborn. But the festering wound will never heal. Our kin will come back. And you will all pay for turning your back on Lolth and believing into your apostate light. As she goes to throw out a bolt of lightning down, immediately, Essek kind of counterspells it here, conjures a shield around him. As some of the warriors begin to rush her here, she's throwing down spells, blasting into people and such. As Ayla, during this battle, I believe it's just Ayla, right? Everyone else is going back home.
Talion would have. How far? What's the highest point in Rosona that's about 300 feet away from the Daviana compound?
It's a big city, so there wouldn't necessarily be there would be probably like a watchtower nearby, like a big watchtower, like a clock tower somewhere nearby that you could get on top of and still be above like the level of the manor.
Yeah, Talion would be at the highest point, bow drawn, and he would have to fly around the compound, and through his sight, he would pick off any stragglers that managed to get out.
Incredible. Yeah, we see some of these sort of like low-sworn, malice-born individuals up on these sort of tall stairs that lead into the next level of the building, and they're all kind of standing up there with like crossbows and bows, and as they're about to start firing down, we see arrow after arrow land square in their chest and side of necks as they just sort of roll over the railing and fall down, their bodies hitting the floor instantly dead. And we kind of see as Ayla looks on up through the now gone roof of the building from Essex, sort of big time ravenous void spell. We see as Ayla, with your incredible passive position, you look over and you see some 250, almost 300 feet away, up on a tower, not even looking towards the battle here, eyes kind of closed, instead looking through his familiar above is Captain Talion Greyfoot, taking these guys out one by one. I think Ayla, as he sort of creates this opening for you here, you see that Essek is focusing on sort of like a defensive spell, protecting some of these warriors here. Ayla has always been a defensive caster, usually, right? Usually the one to heal and restore and mend the broken and the wounded. Ayla, in this moment, as Zin Deviana, the leader of this den here that has enabled these Volstruckers to sneak into the city and then even take your betrothed, to take Varen away from you, as she's blasting down spell after spell, as we see a arrow hit her to the side of the shoulder as Talion sort of lands a shot from high above, as she spins, and in that moment of sort of distraction, do you think Ayla moves in for a kill, or does she try to sort of restrain her in some way, let someone else do the slaying or incapacitating?
Oh, she's gonna hit her with a guiding bolt.
Guiding bolt, awesome. You, with your staff of the traveler, blast forth the guiding bolt. It slams square into her chest, as we see, usually it's that sort of moonlight and that a little bit of like specks of white and black of the Luxon now mixed within. What, is there any different shade to her magic now in her somewhat different state of mind? Or is it still kind of like moonlight blast to the chest, like a sparkle blast?
It's getting a little bit less light. It's turning a little bit like more lavender color.
Ah.
She's getting kind of she doesn't like these people. And
Yeah.
she normally tries to see people in a better light, but she does not like them at all.
I will say, Ayla, with your powers, you blast, and then blast, then blast again. You blast into one shoulder, then the other. She drops a staff as you blast into the side of her arm. Another arrow hits her to the middle of the chest as she sort of falls to one knee. As Ayla, you approach her with that last guiding bolt in your hand. You see Essek go to raise his hand to tell you, like, wait, hold on. As you approach, this lady's life or death is at your mercy, your choice here. Do you walk up and blast her to the chest here, killing her, or do you leave her alive?
Does
As
Essek
she's like
want her
bleeding out the
alive?
Essek goes to put his hand up, right? You are like, one thing about Ayla is that she's so incredibly wise and perceptive that would be impossible for you to like not notice him going to sort of hold his hand up to give you the signal of like, don't kill her. But this is not about what Essek wants here. This is about what Ayla wants.
And Ayla would. These people might have information on who this person was who took Farron.
So you guys found out last session. You guys found out that these people, Den, Deviana, were working with the spy guy that was in the prison. That told you guys that this Den is the one that helped them sneak into the city to prepare to do that ambush when they tried to kill the queen. Right, and then during that, Essek got captured. Sorry, Varen got captured.
Yeah. But it's important to get any information we can out of them, as much as they can give us. And as much as she wants to kill them, getting any information and try to help Varen is more important.
Excellent. I think in that moment, Ayla, as you sort of conjured this guiding bolt, a bitterness in your chest. You have spent a lot of your elven life looking for someone to cherish and care for, someone to truly be yours and you theirs. And when you finally found it, these people took it away from you. Maybe not these people exactly, but they propped up those villains that did. But even that moment where you feel that anger within you, you realize that killing this person would grant you no satisfaction and would steal any information from you instead. As you lower your hand here, she looks up to you, bloodied and bruised, and just sort of falls backwards, passes out unconscious. You see the guards run up immediately to sort of stabilize and make sure they don't die. As Essek kind of gives you a look here, as these guards are rushing back and forth, Essek just sort of gives you a look and says, "Good work. Thank you for your help. As they're sort of picking up Zindaviana here, he says, I want to find him as much as you do, that you can trust me. I already have something in the works, a way to recover him, or at least find out where he has disappeared to. Go home, Miss Inaris. Rest, meditate. You have to regain your strength. If you want to rescue your beloved and my brother, you'll need every spell available to you. Take a day, rest, and tomorrow bring the rest of your friends.
Would it be easier if I give you something that he has that's similar to mine? This necklace, he has one that's just like it.
He sort of holds his hand out for it. Here, he kind of takes it as you give it. Inspects it, says, for all the years we've spent together, Varen and I were, well, as close as two brothers who are deeply engraved in a military and politics of a country. Yet, thinking on it now, I don't believe I've given him a gift in a very, very long time. Luckily, he has you as his guardian angel. This will help greatly in trying to locate him. Although I'm unsure.
If you need anything,
however,
you just let me know, okay?
Yes, you. And he sort of, I think, takes a moment here to kind of look you up and down. He says, "You've done enough. You fought as hard as everyone there in the throne room, if not even harder.
I didn't do enough. I couldn't stop them from taking him.
How do you think I feel? In either case, someone very important was taken from both of us. I don't like to lose. I very rarely do, if ever. So this is not over yet. The fight has just started. But as I'm certain you understand, the Bright Queen's not going to be too happy about her wife, the Dusk Captain, being nearly killed during this attack. This war with the Twindalian Empire, well, this was a whole lot of fuel they just poured on the fire. A lot to think about, a lot to plan.
I will go home. If you need anything though, no matter what time, just call, okay? I'll be there.
Right. Very well. And Miss Inaris, Ayla, if I can call you that, unlike my mother, I believe you and Varen are an excellent fit. I thought he did really well for himself, finding someone like you. I always thought him a little too, foolish when it comes to the matter of romance over politics. But turns out he found someone worth waiting for. That's at least what he said.
That's really nice to say. Thank you.
You should get a rest and clean yourself. You're covered in blood. I don't think it's yours.
It's not. She'll cast prestidigitation.
Yeah, he sort of disappears. He sort of nods and looks over, and we see at this point, unless Talion, you were just gonna hang out on that tower, snipe people. As the battle is sort of concluded, did you want to like come over and inspect what's happened, all of it, or did you want to just like head home as well?
After everything looks like it's kind of clearing up from his vantage point, he pulls out his sending stone, sends a message.
Yeah.
Heading back to the Empire in a day or two. Just thought I'd give you a heads up. Send.
You get a message back saying, "Good to know. Let us know where."
And I'll head back to our estate.
All right.
Am I allowed to see Red? I know that we're not really allowed in the Lucy Bastion anymore.
Red was still in the stables. I believe that's his mount, right? That's Varen's dragon steed you're talking about?
Yeah, but he hangs out with me a lot too. I just don't
Yeah,
want him to stay there. I just don't want him to stay there, you know?
You're going to want to go back to the Lucid Bastion and check. Sorry, a lot was happening. I didn't pay
I just don't want him
mind.
to worry. You know, he's gonna worry where Varen is.
It's very kind of you, I suppose, but you understand it's a simple beast, huh?
I could talk to him. He's not a beast. He's so much more than that.
He sort of narrows his eyes. It's just, right. In either case, get some rest. I'll have the rest of the Aurora Watch clean up here.
Yeah, and she'll head back.
You head on back home as you all meet back at the sort of manor. Talion, you said you're heading back home as well, right?
Yep.
Okay. all of you find yourself back at your keep, your home, your mansion in Rasona, as you sort of go into the kind of past the living room, into the sort of dining space. You kind of all have a moment where you kind of sit down. It is at this point like 7 in the morning. You guys have not slept a blink. Yeah. Through the night. This is the very same night where, like, the ball, the celebration of the victory over Doomeran and the forces of evil, and then the ambush and going into the sewer. Like, this is all in the same night you guys did. You guys sit there, grab some quick food, with a hollow feeling in your stomachs. End up going to sleep. You rest. Some hours pass. It is well into the afternoon by the time you all kind of like wake up. As you sort of head on down and find yourselves again in that dining room as the food is brought out, and you'll have a moment to sort of sit and think and talk and finally kind of, I don't know, kind of process everything that has just happened.
Good morning. How is everybody?
You see Talion just like rubbing his temples. Platinum, save me. I'm still exhausted.
Not many long nights for you, huh?
Well, considering the amount of adrenaline that's been pumping through my system for the last couple of hours, probably not.
Well, Scoutmaster, do you want something that I have that is guaranteed to perk you up?
I kind of raise my eyebrow at her. Like what?
An all-natural stimulant?
Insight
Trust
check?
me, it's not poison.
Like what?
Kayla
What do
kind of
you...
looks at Italian and just shakes her head at him. No.
So she goes over and where there's coffee, pours like a big old cup of it. And you see her, she reaches into like this like pouch that sits like on like the side of like her thigh that's like strapped down. She opens it up, pulls out a vial, holds it up and shakes it, and you see what actually just looks like roots in there. Opens it up, drops a few of it in there, closes it, brings it back. Yeah. Let that sit for a moment. The reason you're feeling tired is because when your body goes through adrenaline and then you sleep, you have a buildup of stuff in your system. That stuff tends to stay when you're experiencing intense exhaustion.
Boom! Very firebomb. Sorry, you were saying as you continue.
Stuff sits in your system and creates intense exhaustion. It doesn't go away as fast as you would like it to. That root, once it's in the coffee and its caffeine delivers it into your blood, and that root's enzymes break it down much faster. It also helps the caffeine stimulate you that much quicker. I use it quite often when I'm in the field and I can't afford to actually sleep.
Does my insight check still stand?
If you want to hear, if you are, I think insight roll here, or like an alchemy tools or herbalism kit as well could apply. Yeah.
I'm appreciating cooking utensils is about it.
Close enough as well. Yeah, you can absolutely do that as well to check for anything suspicious.
I'll do my insight check.
25, nice. I think on a 25, I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong here, Jess, but I don't think you see anything weird or strange that Alcina does here. With a 25, you do get a sense that this person have a innate sort of a very robust understanding of sort of like alchemy, perhaps cooking in maybe some ways, but I think a little more as well of knowledge of how alchemical or even poisonous ingredients.
Who's that Pokemon?
Right? So this is not just some common knowledge that most people would know. But just correct me if I'm wrong here. I don't think he gets any on a 25, right? I don't think he gets anything suspicious or strange.
No, I will.
We don't see like a cloud with a skull that emerges from the cup, right?
Right. I will say, for all the insight checks Italian has done on her, she doesn't seem to lie.
Yeah.
Like, true to her word, when he first met her, she has no use for lying.
Yeah.
Italian will take a sip of it, then he'll go, I butt my tongue.
Was that in or out of game? Hold on.
No, that was in game.
Gotcha.
Oh, yeah, coffee's hot. There, take that, my revenge for Rex and Trump. Hot coffee.
Noted.
As you sort of sit on down, have this coffee with this root. Yeah, it does sort of help kind of wake you up decently fast here as you all kind of sit there. Meanwhile, I mean, Alondra is... Zach is not here, right? Alondra is present. She's here. As Odo, you've gotten some sleep as well. It's a very sort of active night that everyone kind of went on through. Is there any conversations past that? Anything of like, what should we do next? Or are we just sitting here in silence for some time?
I think there's that moment of like quiet contemplation in the morning, right? You know, when you just get up, you just want to sip your coffee for a second.
Yeah.
And then
just like a long sigh of sort of a release.
Yeah. Well, interesting times, yeah? I get the feeling that there's tension between all of us now. Looking at like
how could there not be?
You're from the same country as me too.
I may have been born in Bestea still, but that is not my home. I never belonged there.
Yeah, but they find out. You see it in the same light.
They know? I already told Varen where I'm from. I didn't never lie about where I lived.
I hope for your sake that you are right. Because my experience in these affairs is the only thing that matters to them is what side of that mountain range you're born on.
Well, I really don't believe that, so, I mean... You have your experiences and I have mine.
Like you, though.
Well, I don't wholeheartedly agree with Alcina's view on the world. She does raise a good point. Unfortunately, the dynasty and the empire have a not so great relationship in the past that have unfortunately shaped the minds and opinions of both sides.
And unfortunately, it seems that our mutual homes
are at war. That said, I'll come out and say it. I view you all as my friends. You've helped me, I've helped you. We've fought together, bled together, and almost died together a couple times. Except for you, Italian. I don't really quite know you yet, but you seem alright. So, if we can look past the current diplomatic.
Apologies.
Go ahead.
You're right, I don't know you that well, and you don't know me that well. But while I don't consider you a friend like how I consider the others, I consider you at least a comrade in arms.
Fair enough. So that said, if we can set aside current political standings of the two, I think at the end of the day we're still friends here, right? Those carriages are getting louder every day, I swear.
Alondra smiles at that, right? And she very much so confirms what you're saying here, very much so friends and more. But as we sort of look over to Ayla, Odo, and Talion, what are the sort of reactions here, if any? I mean, you guys have, known Alcina for a long time here, and this stuff from last night, she got attacked as much as you guys did. You went on a whole little thing to prove that she's not involved with any of this. And Talion, who has a really good sort of like a really good way to tell if people are lying, deceiving him, or up to any shenanigans. Talion, you've honestly not gotten anything secretive or sort of evil, I suppose, or saboteur-esque from Alcina here. In all honesty, Talion, with all the rolls you made so far, and all the high insight rolls, I think you're more so thinking like, okay, I want to know why she has that symbol of those mages from across the mountains around on her belt. But other than that, this person more so to me seems like someone who's at a wrong place at a wrong time. So yeah, no, Ayla, does Ayla say anything?
Yes. She puts her fork down and like steeples her hands for a moment to try to think of how to say what she wants to say. And she like looks at Alondra, but then looks at Alcina. You want to be friends. Your people stole my person. They stepped on Alondra like she was trash. And you call them your kin. You didn't even want to lie to try to get any information out of them. I will do what I can to help you. But there's only for one reason. Not because you and I are friends. Because of her. And she'll point to Alondra. Make no mistake. We are not friends, Alcina.
I am confused. When I killed my own countrymen to protect you, to protect the woman that I am quite fond of, protect you and Odo and Talion here, that was not a gesture of friendship.
I think it was a gesture of you trying to save face because you know everyone knows that you're from there. You said to Captain Ray that you knew what her family's beacon has been for almost a year, and you only chose to say something about it when we were in a very bad situation.
That is true. Can seem pertinent. It's time to bring it up. was actually what I was going to talk to Queen about. I have known Ray and her family for a little bit of time. Part of her family a bit longer. I had a lot of friends in Osarius. A lot of friends that died when it was attacked. Part of why I've been here has been trying to get into a position close enough to where I could actually talk to her and broach the subject. See, while I don't hate my country, it's never done me any wrong. Ray, her family, and most of the people of Osarius decided to give me a chance when they could have killed me when they very first came across me. But they didn't. From that moment, I was able to have something a bit more out here than being a passing curiosity or somebody that the gods turned their noses up at every time I came through. But I can't just walk in here blue-eyed, blonde-haired and go, by the way, I know where your dead are and where they've been taken. I wanted to talk to her about it. Give her the information. But, as you can see, an entire group of my people decided to crash the party. So that is why I brought it up when I did. Because at that point, it had become a bargaining chip for my life. And no, I didn't lie to my people. Because as I've told you before, when we very first met, I have no use for lying. Because that's the precedence for the fact that I will do it. And then at that point, what trust can you ever have in a word that I say?
Mm-hmm. Does Ayla respond in any way?
What are they going to do to him?
Depends on where he is taken. If he's taken to the sanatorium, he will likely be tortured for everything that he knows. That was a really loud carriage. If Ikathon has him, there will be a lot of pain that he is put through. Same as they all went through. She even gestures to her own arm that I briefly went through.
Mm-hmm. Who here is proficient in history?
I am.
You and maybe some others here have heard of that last name that she said, Ikathon. Ikathon is a very unique last name, and it's very much so connected to Dwendalian Empire. We sort of talked about this briefly before, but Dwendalian Empire is believed to be ruled by a king and his advisors. Yes, while the king, Bertrand Dwendal, rules the lands, a group of incredibly powerful mages act as his sort of advisor. This group of mages, this arcane council, is known as the Cerberus Assembly. They are very, very powerful, very clever, very involved with the ongoings of everyday life in the Empire. and some amongst them are extremely powerful, even amongst their own fellow mages or archmages. This last name, Ikathon, belongs to one Master Trent Ikathon, who is the Archmage of Civic Influence. He is a very older gentleman, very much so, somewhat secretive in his sort of life than most people know, but with proficiency, I think, in history, especially for those of you who have spent a lot of time here in the Empire, you have sometimes heard hushed whispers amongst the Aurora Watchmen, the army guard here, that this Ikathon is somehow connected to this scary, dangerous group, these Scourgers or Volstruckers. Now, it's all kind of speculation from across the mountains here, but hearing Alcina mention it here, you think it might as well be true, correct in some ways?
I'm not proficient in history, but because of my background,
yeah. You know,
history.
You know.
I'll roll history.
No need to roll. I'm saying you know.
Okay. But I'm asking if I know anything more than what's been whispered.
Oh, what I'm saying. Oh, yeah, sure, absolutely. If you want to give me a history roll here. Being so connected with the army and such, a lot of these reports coming to you, you can absolutely have advantage on this. Okay. I mean, yes. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
320.
Nice. Here, you've heard a lot about this Trent Ikathon. You've heard that this person was a very sort of respected and acclaimed propagandist of the Empire, and he is one of the most powerful mages amongst all of the Cerberus Assembly. Maybe the second most powerful, behind the sort of oldest and the sort of most powerful, that being Martinet Ludiness Dileth, the Archmage of Domestic Protection. This is the sort of governor of defense, senator of public defense. This Ikathon, you have heard rumors of very vile training that he puts a lot of his students through. Mental conditioning and all kinds of sort of rigorous regimens and trainings that creates some of the most powerful mages that the Empire and the world of Exandria has ever seen. This person is a very scary, powerful, influential man. On a 20, you've heard that, you've heard, and you also speculated this Ikathon is deeply connected with these Volstruckers, where you might have sort of at times even thought that he might be one of the individuals pulling the strings in that, if he is indeed. Now, there's never been any concrete information, but this Trent Ikathon, scary name, connected to a lot of scary people.
I share that information with the group.
Yeah.
Questions?
Are you going to help us get them back, or are you going to, once you get back to the Empire, you're just going to stay on your side of the world?
I like Varen. I do. He's a nice guy. He doesn't deserve to be where he is. So I'll help him back. I think I have an idea of how we might do it. Probably not going to like it, but one of the easier ideas, aside from outright assaulting the sanatorium, I have been forthright about who I work for. That being Lewdness, and what I do for him. Every member of the Assembly has their own personal goals and interests that they are investigating. Lewdness has me out here looking for certain things for him. That work has been hindered by what Ikathon has done by sending his Volstrucker out here. When somebody steps on the toes of another in the Assembly, they don't take kindly to it. He can possibly help us get what we need and help us get your fiancé back. If for nothing more than the spite of having his operations endangered and interrupted out here.
Well, I guess you can bring it up to Essex because he wants to see all of us.
That could be a fun one.
He wants to get them back as much as I do. So I think he may be open to any option.
Then Alcina is going to be the most important member of our party moving forward.
Yeah, so if you have questions about where we are likely going, now would be the time to ask.
How far is it from Visayas still?
How far from what?
How far is it from Visayas still? Because that's the only way I'd be able to teleport us to.
The sanatorium is outside Rexentrum. Probably about a day or two.
A little more than that, maybe like 2 or 3.
Yeah, 2 or 3. Well, that's why I said a day or 2.
For reference, the Bastea still, this old place of elves, is the sort of northernmost location in the Empire. Bastea still is maybe a week and a half, maybe a little less than that, travel from Rexentrum. And then, so like, yeah, a few days, like a week of travel from these two locations.
Although I'm going to prepare plague so that way you can use them for a month. I think Alondra has Teddy, which her and Alcina can use. I don't know if you want to bring a Moorbounder though to Empire side. It may not be a really good idea.
I'm going to advise you that you do not bring anything from Jorhas into Imperial territory.
Do they not have diet boys over there?
No.
Some in forests, maybe, but not just like walking around town.
There's a very distinct divide between most of the wildlife on this side of the mountain range and what you find in Rexentrum. There is, or in the Empire, there's a little bit of bleed over, but they don't use them to that capacity, and we don't have more bounders, certainly not.
What about wyverns?
No.
No.
Griffins, maybe.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring Rebel Boss.
If we are doing this, we're doing this without drawing attention to ourselves.
Speaking of, I'm gonna need that earring back, that cuff back.
I will give it back to you once we make it to the palace. I need it between here and there.
Fair enough.
Hmm.
I have to make a really quick stop before we go there, so I guess I'll meet you there. Just really
Yeah.
quick. I have to go and say something to Veren's mom.
Would you like me to keep you company? Just so you're not on your own?
It's okay, I mean,
Call me crazy, but I feel like she will probably be where we are going.
I don't know if she would be. We're going to talk to Essek personally. I don't think she's going to be there.
I mean, that is his mom. I don't see why she wouldn't be. Especially given the gravity of the situation and everything.
I don't know if she has to do something with the den to get them talking about what they're going to do. I don't know. I just want to see if she's okay, you know, because it's her son.
Hmm.
My offer stands if you need me, but if not, I understand.
I mean, you can walk with me if you like.
I say we go
Sure.
together. We don't know if there's any more of my people out there.
All right. Excellent. You guys make it over to the manor of Den Thalis here in town. As you approach, you see the guards sort of slowly let you in. They sort of confirm who you are, and everyone's very much on high alert at this point. You are brought into a sort of receiving kind of a foyer room off the manor here, and exiting out to meet you is Daerta Thalis. You guys have seen this woman. This is the mother of Essek and Varen. As she sort of steps on forward, she looks kind of a little confused at seeing you all here. Daerta sort of kind of leans across the room, says, "Heroes of the dynasty, Scout Captain, I apologize. I didn't foresee any visitors after what has happened last night. Things are, as you must understand, a little chaotic here. Is there anything I can do for you? What do I owe this honor?"
Apologies for intruding upon your dwelling, my lady. It simply came to my attention that someone wanted to check on you and see how you're faring, myself included.
She looks over to Ayla and just kind of exhales and kind of takes a few steps closer and says, I'm doing well. I'm doing as fine as a mother who's just lost a son can. I suppose I should be proud for his noble sacrifice to save the queen of his people, and yet somehow I have this selfish part of me that wishes that he wasn't there in the first place.
I wanted to come and see if you were okay. I feel like you're probably the only person who feels the way that I do. Severely distraught. And so I just wanted to see if you were alright.
You see a deeply sad and deeply tired look in her eyes, masked by decades of sort of learning how to behave and posture in a world where only nobility that seeks any sort of leverage over each other has sort of learned to do. She looks back to you with those same tired eyes and says, I'm not the greatest, but my son is strong, and Luxon is powerful. It will see us through this darkness.
I agree. And I wanted to know if you want to go to the sanctum later and play. Who's that
Pokemon?
I'm not giving him hope that he's going to come back. We're going to talk to Essex and see how we can make that happen.
Yes, Essex, I haven't had a chance to speak with him at all. Since last night, he's been running around putting fires out. Well, if Essex has... If anyone in this good dynasty has a plan, if anyone has the mind set to resolve this, it will be Essex. And so looks to you here and says, I understand, and you know that our relationship started a bit rocky. To this day, I never understood how you and Varen found each other, and, well, to be perfectly candid with you, I never thought that
Yas!
you were the right person for him. Being someone from a noble family, he is... And as she shakes her head, sort of giving up on the whole notion, says, it seems also foolish now when he is... And you see a little quiver to her lip, and her eyes begin to kind of water up a little bit, and she blinks and kind of says, You'll have to excuse me, lords and ladies. I still have a lot of work to do until things are back to normal here. Which is going to be a long time.
She's gonna step to the side with her quietly because she doesn't know she's having a moment.
Yeah.
Look, I know that you don't like me because I'm a bit unconventional, and I'm not really good with court etiquette because I don't really know much about it. But don't think that way, okay? We're gonna get them back, even if it takes my whole lifetime, and if I'm lucky enough to get consecuted, I will spend all the lifetimes I need to bring him home. I promise.
Yeah, she sort of gives you this long look, as if kind of seeing something about you for the first time, and she kind of slowly nods and says, "That's right. We'll get him back. We'll get." So chuckles and shakes her head and says, "We'll get our Varen back."
You're right, he's very strong. The Luxon picked him for a reason to be a champion. We have to keep giving into that hope, never thinking anything else.
If it's all right with you, I'd like to join you in prayer later.
You see, she gets really happy. I know it's too soon. I'm not going to try to hug you, but I'm so excited. I wanted to do prayer.
It's way too soon. Yes, you're right.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Right. It's fine. I just need to sit for a moment and rest. I apologize, but that's all the time I have today.
Okay, I'll see you and a prayer, okay? And then she'll gesture to her friends. Okay, we can go now.
You see her just sort of exhausted, tired, and deeply saddened, kind of turn back and head to her home as you all step outside of the manor. You guys kind of walk out onto the street here, and later that day, head out to meet with Essek, the Shadow Hand. You are welcome back into the Lucid Bastion, where you sort of meet up with Essek. He kind of it's just you guys and him in a small room here, his little kind of office space that he kind of turns to all of you, says, welcome back to all of you. Good to see you all still all in one piece. Last night was very traumatic. Last night was very explosive. And thanks to your work and the work of the brave soldiers of the Aurora Watch, most of the guests of the Bright Queen, as well as herself, were able to survive throughout the night. Same can be quite said for a few unfortunate ones, including in that the Dusk Captain Quana Kryn, the Bright Queen's very wife, has been struck with some sort of dangerous poison. The blade that struck her has left her unable to awaken. All manner of healing magic has been used on her. Nothing has worked. Purification spells and lesser restorations, nothing has helped. You're trying to find a way to resolve that at the moment.
Do you know what kind of poison it is?
We have inspected it in many ways. We have found it to be some sort of powerful fiendish venom of some sort, perhaps extracted from some sort of a large, powerful fiend. We are speculating currently something tied to Lolth, or maybe another powerful fiendish kind of a servant of evil gods. Yeah, you hear here, Odo, you hear the Lash.
Yeah, I was getting there. Odo's gonna step away and like, hey, Lash.
First of all, it wasn't us. Just letting you know before you ask.
I know it wasn't you, but perhaps you know anything about that. Do you have a name?
Yes, we are the Lash of Shadows, the Drinker of Bile. We inundator of veins, filler of venom. We go by many names.
Call him Stan.
No, don't do that. That's not our name. Listen, Master, Blade Master, Duelist Supreme, Odo Overbarrow. This venom, we do not know what it is, but our venom is unmatched by none. We could, should you let us, drink of it. Drink deep of the venom within that very elf. It shall grant us might, clarity perhaps, to what it is that was used against her.
Would that harm her any further?
Well, nothing worthwhile doing is done without pain.
Pain is one thing, everlasting damage is another, or death. That would get me banished from here, and my ladies here.
We can try our best to be delicate.
Can you, though?
We can always try.
Right.
Maybe offer it like something else that they want.
I was gonna say, if you can get this done and if it let us, maybe I'll give you a proper name.
What? No. Like we said, Lash of Shadows, Inundator of Veins, Filler of Venom, Drinker of We have so many. We don't need another name.
Okay, then I won't name you. I'll call you Lash Shadows, not Bob.
Oh, that's.
Go ahead and give me a persuasion roll against your own whip. 7.
I'll add the thingy.
Oh yeah, your second win here. You get to add a D10, possibly changing it into a 6. So yeah, tactical mind. Whoa, shit! 17. You hear the Lash of Shadows say,
I'll respect your name.
Yes, rather than a humiliating name like Bob, we would like to be called Lash of Shadows. Very well. If this will get Master to use us more rather than any other weapon unworthy of his hands, we shall do this. We shall drink the bile from the elves' very veins.
If you can save her life, maybe we work something out. Sounds like a plan and a deal. But I need to go talk to the people here. I don't know if they'll accept it.
Okie dokie.
And they sort of coil back up and go into your pocket.
There's something very disturbing about an arm of the betrayed going okie dokie.
As it just sort of coils up
Right.
and goes back. Yeah, you sort of head up back. You see Essek is still sort of talking to the party here. This was all, by the way, this is all like in the background, like his voice is all like woo, 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 muffled as you're having this like secret conversation with your whip on the side.
He didn't do that in front of anybody else. Well, not many people.
Yeah. You can mentally communicate with it any time anyway. So yes.
Okay.
Which is you learn this now in this moment as it starts talking to you in your mind as you had that conversation.
Perfect.
Excellent.
Master Essek and Layla. I might be able to help the Dust Captain, maybe, if allowed.
He pauses. Yeah, he pauses. He kind of looks to Ayla, looks to you, says, best I had the understanding of your group, Miss, points over again, says, Miss Inaris here was a healer, not you. I understood you were a duelist. Quite
a duelist, I am.
Powerful.
Yes, that's correct. But the weapon I wield is probably one of the most poisonous weapons around. I believe that it can help us.
Do you present it? Do you like show it?
He just pats it.
You saw what? You what?
He just pats it.
Oh, pats it, right? He sort of looks at it for some time, says, a weapon that can cure ailments. I've not heard of many like it.
Not particularly cure, but drink it.
He just sort of stares at you for a few seconds. It's a long, pregnant pause where he just sort of stares at you, says, you have to clarify. At this point, you have to clarify what that means.
Less shadows. Why don't you present yourself?
Uncoiling is a 5-headed whip of dark, sort of dark leathery kind of snake skin and fangs that emerge. As he immediately sort of takes a half step back, says, that is most disturbing. What you hold there is an armament of a villainous god of assassins and killers. The Lash of Shadows, its name. Do you know that this weapon was used to brutalize and massacre untold numbers of peoples in hundreds and hundreds years ago?
I was informed, but yeah, it was a gift. I didn't really want it. It just came to me. But
and you intend to use the lash of the cataclysmic weapon of a god of assassins to extract venom from the wife of the Bright Queen.
Look, I know it sounds crazy, but the
does
Lash
sound
and
a little
I have
crazy,
made a
Master
deal.
Duelist.
I mean, I could try cleansing it before you do that as the last resort.
Let's leave that as the very last resort. Yes, I think if healing magic can help and the situation gets closer to critical, there's truly no other option because I am very much so trusted by the Bright Queen to do the best by her and the dynasty. Having to explain to her that I
completely understand. No, if everything else works, perfect. I'm saying it's an option that I was told about. I just learned about it myself.
Yes. All right.
I guess if we could tell you what kind of poison, that is still helpful, but maybe
it would need
we
to taste
try.
it, I believe. But sorry, let's see. Go ahead.
Right. I see.
I know it's an odd idea to hear. However, consider the fact that you're best.
Who's that Pokemon?
Apply antidotes. We'll figure it out. No offense to Ayla, but it seems here, even though it is a not so savory option, you have something that is, as I understand it, to be a peerless thing when it comes to poison, unmatched and unrivaled.
Indeed.
It might
You
be
are right.
your best option.
I personally, I'm of a pragmatic mind. I think you are correct. Even we've tried many clerics and healers to resolve this. The curse cleanser, Bulbara herself, has tried taking a look. Nothing has worked. The Sky Sibyl Abriana Miram, the most powerful cleric of the Luxon, has taken a look and attempted. No one was able to remove this poison. Personally, I think it's dangerous. These demonic weaponry and dangerous artifacts, they have a will of their own, and they serve to execute their creator's wishes.
Yeah, but in my defense, look who's wielding it.
Right. And I must say, you don't seem like a demonized, corrupted version of yourself. Unless this is it and you were way different before. Kind of looks amongst the rest of the party.
Oh, yes, he used to say sorry every time he did everything.
Wait, what?
I guess that's a... that's a jest, I think.
Yes,
in either case, he sort of thinks on it, says, I'll have to ask and speak with the Bright Queen. This could be a great possibility, but you have to understand that the Bright Queen has lived throughout her reincarnations through almost 1400 years of life. The assassins sent after her, many of which served the god of venoms, Zahir. It might take some convincing, is all I'm saying. But it's a better suggestion than having her wife be immobilized by poison for who knows how long.
I merely wish to help.
Yes, Captain.
In all those centuries, has it ever been recorded that the whip on Odo's side has it ever been wielded by someone loyal and as good-hearted as Odo? I would mention that to the Bright Queen as.
Yes, you are.
I don't think in all the long centuries of this weapon's existence has it ever been wielded in the hands of a more loyal and honorable man to the dynasty than Odo.
Yes, well, you are correct in some ways, but that's the problem with this particular weapon. You see, if you said the Mace of the Black Crown, then the Dark Champion Teramelk and Zakatosh that had it in hundreds of years ago, they were evil rulers. If you spoke about the thorned crown of Lolth, then the Venom Speaker Nugalak and Apula the Vile, they were easy names to remember from our history that were using these vestiges of villainy. But this thing that you hold here is the Lash of Shadows. It is, in some ways, the most mysterious of all these artifacts. no names are known of the champions that wielded it, as it is meant to be used as a weapon of an assassin. It's the sort of artifact we know the least about, as Zahir, the god himself, is not believed by some at least, not to be a god of needless villainy, but a god of assassins and venoms. He's the least popular god when it comes to worship throughout all the realms. His ideology is mostly unknown to many.
It just seemed like he wanted to find somebody worthy when I met him.
Worthy? Worthy of what? That might be something you want to look out for.
So, if I may, interesting conversational topic as it is other matters, I think, worth discussing as well.
Yes, certainly there are. The reason I've actually invited you all here, you've all seen what happened. We've been investigating, turning over every stone, learning how exactly Den Ziviana was able to allow these scourgers into our city. After some extensive search and questioning of the members of the Den, as well as Ziv herself, we've learned that the Deviana Den was a front of sorts. For nearly 200 years now, Dev Ziviana have been followers of Lolth. It is nearly absurd to think that no one has learned of this fact, but the followers of the Spider Queens, their expertise is deception. Whatever their reasons were, the strategy has worked to some degree. My brother, the Tascan, has been taken. A strange artifact that was used on him is, after some research I've done, I've learned it to be something called something akin to an artifact known as an Ifriti bottle. Any of you guys here who want to can make me an Arcana roll to see if you would have ever heard of such a thing. Alcina, being a sort of artifact collector, you can roll with advantage.
Meanwhile, Edo was like, bless you.
Excellent. Nice. 2018. Very good. Natural 20. Let's go.
Yeah, I know what that is. I've got 3 of them.
Hell yeah. Wait, no, hold on. Wait. Talion, on an 18, you have never heard of such a thing. You're on a DC of 20 here. Ayla, you have heard of a magical item, an extremely powerful magical item known as a Ifriti bottle. The base item itself is sort of kind of like from our real world. This is the genie's lamp we're talking about, right? A magical object that can serve as a sort of prison. A lot of the times it has some sort of a genie inside of it, some sort of a djinn, a powerful elemental creature that is rumored to be even able to grant wishes to people. Alcina, on a natural 20 here, you know all that. Plus, you know that the free bottles, while originally used to trap powerful elemental spirits that could at times grant wishes, the more sort of nefarious use for them is that once, quite literally, the genie is out of the bottle, it leaves that primordial prison, dimensional sort of demi-space within the bottle. Now, obviously, that one wasn't a bottle. That one looked like a Rubik's Cube device, but you realize it sort of serves a similar kind of purpose, a demi-plane a movable demi-plate that can kind of summon forth and kind of trap anyone it is used against. Basically forcing someone magically into a prison cell that you can put in a pocket and move on with. You see Essek looks over and says, this imprisoning device we believe was meant for the Bright Queen, but was used on Essek instead. During the battle there, the one individual, the leader of the Scourgers there, mentioned that the queen was that if they can't have their original target, they'll settle for a bargaining chip. That means that soon enough they will want something, and we are certain they will reach out in exchange, perhaps, for Essek's life. Before any such occasion happens, I wish to save my brother. I have waiting for my word to go out a group of spies, individuals skilled with poisons and blades, even outside of this room right now, waiting for a word from me to be headed out across the mountain range into the Marrow Valley, into the Zemni Fields, to start investigating and hearing and listening to just about every rumor about what happened here last night, to find out where these Scourgers could be that have taken my brother. These people are experts. They're skilled at stealth and subtlety, but they're not local. While they are experts in deception and subtly moving through the lands, anyone skilled to tell a few months, a year perhaps, to blend in and learn the ways of the Imperial people, that would be quite fine. And while we do have some people across the mountain, some deeply rooted allies of ours over there, there's simply not enough time for any of that. So, after speaking to the Bright Queen, something that she suggested, after seeing all of your acts and deeds up until this point, she suggested that with how closely you've worked with Varen in the past, that you all might be perfectly suited for a venture into the Empire. I've summoned you here to bring this forth to you. I know that some of you are much more invested in this than others, but first things first, he looks over to Alcina and says, on behalf of her Majesty, myself, and the rest of the ruling court here, we would like to issue an apology. While you were under suspicion of being a spy and perhaps even an assassin, your acts last night alone have put the Bright Queen's mind somewhat at an ease about your presence here, although I myself would still very much so like to know why it is you keep your thoughts shielded and your appearance hidden. As he sort of gives you this intense look.
Wow. In the vein of honesty, she'll take off the earring and she gives it over to Talion.
Mm-hmm.
The reason that I keep my appearance shielded is because, well, it's much easier to sell things to individuals here when they look at me and think, oh, I'm just one of you. No offense. Drow are notoriously sort of well, I'll be honest, I don't really know the word for it. I just know that you all tend to want to deal with yourselves more than you do with others. So it's been good for business. The reason that I keep my mind shielded.
Who's that
You actually
Pokemon?
don't. You can't read it because of how it was born. Fun little byproduct of being born under a flare of the red moon.
She sort of stares at you for some time, kind of squinting through squinted eyes, says, I see. Interesting, yeah? Sort of stares at you.
Rude is born, is what they call us.
I've heard of the Ruidus curse, huh? Well, perhaps it is true then that rumored bad luck has brought you here at the wrong time, perhaps. Maybe.
Perhaps it fell to your brother, or perhaps it was why somebody stubbed their toe this morning that had come into contact with me last night. It's all in your head when it comes to bad luck and curses. Except for, actually, truly real curses.
Right. Well, in either case, like I said, on behalf of the dynasty, we apologize for your apprehension, as temporary as it was. But times are difficult. You can never be too cautious.
Real briefly, can I just have the surface thoughts in the room real quick?
Yeah, you, with your ability, sort of reach on out here. The surface thought from Essek here is, I don't trust her. I think she's still lying. Yeah. From the rest of the room here, what to go down the line here? If there is any particular one, Odo, any particular sort of thoughts on the current situation? Yeah.
No, not particularly. He's probably just wondering how he can help.
Gotcha. Talion?
I think Alcina hears Talion's service thoughts are, once the official business is over with, I need to ask Essek about what he learned from 20 years ago.
And then Ayla, anything in particular?
She's going to be listening to the conversation, and she's thinking that she still doesn't really trust Alcina. But she trusts Alondra. And she's just gonna keep her. She knows how much Alcina means to Alondra, and she'll, as much as she doesn't trust her, she'll do whatever she can to keep her safe.
Gotcha. Those are the thoughts in the room.
So, despite everything, I know that you still don't trust me. Perhaps I can alleviate that. I'm pretty sure I understand where they took your brother.
He sort of tilts his head, says, you do, huh? And where would that be?
The one place that people don't realize is actually where the Vostraka go. Where they report to, where everybody is kept, where failed experiments are housed. To the deepest, darkest place in all of the Empire. The Sanatorium.
The Sanatorium. I Imagine there's a few of those. Any particular one?
Ikathon's home.
You see him sort of kind of raise his head just slightly, says, Ferguson Sanatorium. Yes, I've heard plenty mentions of it. Some of our best agents that disappeared and later reappeared mentioned, reported rumors of strange activities happening around that place before we lost contact with them.
Mm-hmm.
And you are certain this place is where they're keeping Varen?
If the Volstruckers were involved and he was taken, this is exactly where he would be taken.
Interesting.
If I had to wager what they want, it's the one thing out here that they have coveted the most. A unconsecuted Luxon for them to be able to study. Dunamantic magic to the Empire is a mystery, and to the Cerberus is simply anything magical. Fighting for. Any knowledge in that field is what they tend to desire. And from what I understand about them, Dunamantic magic seems to stem from them and your god.
Well, I suppose now we come to the interesting question. How do you know about all of that, sir?
Just kind of gestures to the belt buckle.
Yeah, just sort of stares at it and then back at you as if still expecting an answer.
I have worked for the Assembly for several years now. They have given me a job when I had nothing, and in turn for my loyalty, have paid me very well. I have gathered all manner of magical artifacts for them and have been shared a great many plans and endeavors with. One of which was to, while out here, hunt down a beacon, and if I could, bring it back. Delving in ruins, after all, is exactly that. If I were to find one, well, it's sort of a finder's fee, I suppose.
And
Never
did
found
you
one,
ever? I see.
Exceptionally more rare than you've expected.
Yes, we are somewhat aware of that.
But I am aware that you all have found a few. Conversations that I have heard suggest that even one was brought back and that one was stolen as well.
Yes, there's been some unfortunate events in the past. Luckily, your friends were able to produce and even repair one of them as well before. Kind of points over to Ayla. In either case, it seems that my assumption of you was wrong in some ways. I'd say you're more of a mercenary for hire rather than truly involved with the Assembly. Would that be correct to say?
I have worn many hats, and Ludinus has given me a home. Literally gave me a home It's a nice place in Rexentrum. Could show it all to you when we go there if we end up that way. Paid me quite well. By all accounts, you would say I'm an employee, I suppose. But I'm not officially a member of the assembly. No, I just sort of do work for him and treated very well for my efforts. Prior to that, I was part of a cult, and that's, gets a little weird.
He sort of squints at you at that. Huh? Many hats. I see. Right. Well, this is very useful information. Should it be true, of course. Now, it's nearly impossible for us to send troops directly there. If it is as you say, and the Vergeson Sanatorium is where they're keeping Varen, then we must get you as close as possible. Looks over to Ayla and says, you are capable now with that staff of Bright Queens of teleportation, yes?
Yes, but only to places that I know.
I have many of my spies and agents that, through the shared connection I have with them, my shadowed hands, that have shared mental images and locations with me, I could, through a simple spell, put such a memory of mine, that said of one of my agents that was shared with me, into your mind that you could perhaps use to travel. It's a place that I was going to suggest sending you. Is a small town just south of Rexentrum. It's a farming town, a little place known as Blumenthal. I was going to suggest sending you there, and using the many skills that you all have, I doubt you'd be finding any trouble traveling the roads beyond Rexentrum and then towards the sanatorium if you determine that is where you are heading. I was hoping that you all would, however, head to Rexentrum, as we do have some agents there currently that have, some agents that have been reinstated there recently that could provide a lot more ground level information and more perhaps details to look into, more, I suppose, clues to this mystery.
Okay. If you need to put it into my mind, sure.
He says, very well. He reaches up and sort of places, kind of like almost kind of pinching the skin at the side of his sort of temples, the side of his forehead. And you see as he sort of mutters a silent spell under his breath, and he begins to pull at the sort of side of his forehead, almost kind of pinching at it. And you watch a little strand of arcane, strange kind of text begin to get sort of pulled out of his mind here. As it kind of forms into a little orb of sort of spinning letters and numbers. And as he sort of holds it, he kind of hands it to you as it sort of floats slowly towards you, and it kind of touches your forehead, and then with a flash disappears. In that moment, Ayla, you see a flash of images in your mind of a small hillside, a forest below, a farming village. You see a lot of like humans and halflings walking around, cattle being kind of moved around and such. A small farming village, and just to the sort of northwest from your sort of point of view, you see many miles away, but still visible, the tall walls of the capital of the Dwendalian Empire, the walls of Rexentrum. As this memory enters your head, another possibility for teleportation, a more secure one at least. As he uses a little extract thoughts spell and gives these thoughts to you. He blinks a few times, says, that should be greatly helpful with your telemancy.
Thank you.
Right. Well, it seems to me that all of you are very much so interested in...
Who's that Pokemon?
I will still offer. Do you wish for any of our soldiers or warriors, or some that are more specialized in magic or subtlety, perhaps to come with you? Or do you think you'll be able to act more freely and subtly if you just travel as your own group?
I would think the smaller group would attract less attention.
I agree, though. A smaller group will grab less attention from the locals and also allow us to be more fluid and more close-knit when it comes to entering Rexentrum.
Very well. Then you're going to want these. And he produces a stack of papers, all made from like sort of different materials. There's maybe like a dozen of them or so, and they're all like filled with a bunch of information. He holds these out, says these are forged, and some of them produced by some of them produced through forgery, some of them obtained from some individuals. These are proper documentation. These are your citizenships here. Some of them are a little more filled out than others. As you guys take a look, and you see basically some basic sort of documentation ranging from very kind of crudely written documentation. All of them have a seal, however. Some of them are crudely written documentation a simple farmer would have. Some of them a lot more sort of filled out in detail. A merchant or even a lower tier nobleman would have, as all kinds of like jobs and businesses that these people, these fake documents for these people are kind of detailed on these papers. As he presents the stack of papers, says these should help with any sort of... Yes?
How do they compare to like my actual citizenship paper?
Some of these you can definitely tell were probably cleaned up after being taken off of dead bodies, right? People that the Empire might not know are dead, right? Some of them seem forged. They seem expert work, right? Looking at them, they look nearly exactly the same, right? You knowing that they're fake, you sort of know what to kind of look for, right? So with a few, like, 10, 20 minutes of investigation, you could probably tell, like, oh, wait, this doesn't match up. This is probably fake. But on, like, a quick inspection that most guards would do, yeah, it absolutely looks not just passable, it looks legitimate.
They're not terrible.
Thank you, I think. In either case, pick a role for yourself here, what kind of individual you wish to present as while there, and most of the guards and patrols shouldn't bother you at all. This is all. He presents a sending stone, says this sending stone is for your group to stay contacted with me directly here. Any information you learn, do let us know. One final thing. Ayla, he produces the necklace you gave him. He says, I saw in the moment when we were back at Den Deviana's mansion yesterday that there was no way in the 9 hells I'll be able to tell you not to go on this mission. So I don't... I've tried using it myself, but it seems a bit tricky with where he likely is now. But he gives you back the necklace here. Ayla says, I've enchanted your necklace here. If your will is strong enough and you're able to push through the boundaries set by the magic of the Empire's mages, you might be able to reach Varen, who's wearing the second one of these. It's not guaranteed. I've tried a few times and it didn't work, but I've sensed him as if, well, he's still alive at least.
But it kind of mimics your heartbeat, so maybe he didn't want to use it back because it doesn't sound like mine.
I don't know. I know many things, but yeah, you're gonna have to figure that one yourself. The magic I worked into it at least should give you a chance to contact him. How much he'll be able to speak back to you, I'm not certain. That really depends on the power of your will.
Okay. I guess maybe being closer, does it help to be closer to him?
The signal, I suppose, of this spell gets stronger the more powerful the will of both of you is. There is really no correlation between distance and such.
Okay. Do you want me to try now?
You can if you wish. Ayla, you grab the necklace here.
Yeah, she's gonna say a soft prayer to the Moonweaver, and she's gonna also pray that the Luxon give him strength to respond.
Incredible. As you sort of focus here and reach on out, Ayla, can you go ahead and make a wisdom saving throw? 20. Incredible. Ooh, okay. Incredible. As you focus for a moment here, as you speak a little silent prayer, you feel, all of you watch as little specks of sort of twilight mist begin to gather around this little necklace. As Ayla, you hear it. The rest of you also hear it quietly, but to you, Ayla, it's as loud as a roar. You hear this thum thum, thum thum, a heartbeat. And as you focus here, Ayla, you hear a voice speak out, sounding tired. You hear the voice of Varen in your head says, Ayla? Is that you?
It's me, Varen.
I can hear you. I thought I was going crazy. Are you well?
I'm okay. I think it's hilarious that you're asking me how I am. How are you?
If you are well, that's all that matters. I seem to have been captured. I don't really know what's going on. I'm in a room. Last thing I remember was standing in front of the Bright Queen, and then I've been in a room this whole time. There's red walls. It's made of strange kind of glass. I can't fully see through it. Can't really hear anything on the other side. There's no doors or windows. For the first few hours, I thought I was going to suffocate. There's no air coming in, but I'm just stuck here, I think. Here we go. And then you hear it sort of start cutting out, right? It's like, hear you, and love, and then it cuts off.
I thought my internet was going bad for a sec.
She's going to cry a little bit and try to compose herself. He's in a room with red walls, no doors, no windows. He said this seems like it's glass.
You see Essex sort of narrates.
Have him in the jaw.
Yeah, Essex sort of looks to Elsina, kind of nods, says, I think that's exactly correct. So I've not done anything to him yet. That's good. All right. At least we know he's well. Good. Thank you, Ayla.
Thank you.
Keep that close. All of you, take a look here. Glance at these papers. See which one best suits you. Which one you can best pass off as. There's plenty to choose here from. Things can be added onto it as well.
So they're all like merchants or farmers or something?
You can take a look at these. Some of them are not sort of fully finished. The forgers can sort of finish them here. You can quite literally choose what profession your like persona is going to have while on the other side.
Like a traveling woodworker?
You could be, if you want to.
Yeah, I'll take that one.
That's a very unique profession, a traveling woodworker. Woodworker is fine, but traveling is the unique part. Very well, very well. Okay, gotcha.
I'm just going to be me, if that's all right.
Suppose. I don't believe, I don't know how your connections or what your past is on that side of the mountain, but your normal, I suppose if you have them on you, papers should do just fine.
Pretty good, actually. I got quite a few people I can actually talk to over there. It could help or pull information from.
I see.
I don't have my papers. We really don't have that kind of thing in Bisea still. So she'll just look through like.
Yes, I understand that within the Empire, even the elfin populace, living much longer than most common human there, does not have the same sort of documentation. Well, I suppose then you can always lean on that. Or if you feel like grabbing a paper from the stack.
That means you would have to hide yourself because elves don't show up with papers.
Oh, we don't have papers.
Also, Ayla, it may be wise to cover the staff when we get there.
There's no way to cover it. It's
with wrappings, at least covering up the beacon part of it.
Oda could probably make something.
What was that, Rav? What did you say?
I said Oda can probably make something.
Yeah, absolutely. Some simple like sheath for the staff or something like that.
If Ayla wants it.
I mean, I don't want to bring any more attention to us. I don't like covering it. But...
So, decorative cover?
I guess.
All right.
Like a guitar box, but for your staff.
She'll look through the papers.
You see all kinds. There's like a jeweler in here, like a herbalist. There's like a traveling, like, what do you call the lady that helps you give birth? What's that title called?
Oh, midwife.
Yes.
I would look to see if there's any ones with like painters or anything like that.
Yeah. There is some of like individual who like make stuff with glass. There's like it's not too specific here, and they can always alter it a little bit. So if you wanted to say something, they can alter it to say something. Yeah.
She's gonna be like those people that do the caricatures of people in the city.
Traveling artist it is.
For anybody who actually took a quick glance at Elsina's, right up there, it has her listed as an antique stealer.
Antique
stealer. It says stealer on your paper. They could put that on there.
Do you mean dealer?
No, that's stealer. Antiques dealer.
Oh, I thought you said stealer. Like, wow, they just put it out there.
The
I
guard
like to
looks at
steal
it like,
things.
says here you're a thief? All right, you're going to prison.
Yeah. No, I am a dealer of antiquities.
I'm going to have to draw some caricatures if I'm going to make this real.
Ryan will look through the papers and look for chef documents.
Yeah, absolutely. You can find one of these many papers here that has like a culinary master, like a chef at a restaurant or like a small bar or something like that.
Nothing grandiose. I think sous chef would be enough.
Sure. You find one that has sort of has some culinary background basically here. Excellent.
Should look for some
chef.
papers for personal shopper. For
Who's that Pokemon?
They don't have that, but
She shops for like the rich people, you know, she knows what they like.
they write down a
The
noble's
answer?
assistant. Yeah, they write down a
Is there, like,
noble's
a-
assistant.
Yep.
Excellent. Okay. Excellent. As you guys sort of pick these out, you see that Essa kind of looks amongst you all, kind of nods. Good. Very good. Now, I would suggest you, like, if you have any other means, if you wish to travel to any other location that is familiar to you and travel from there, I would suggest if you are certain. Now, Alcina here is pretty certain this is the location we're going to be looking at, this Vergeson Sanatorium. But this is still a best guess. This is not concrete information. We don't have any divinations that we can sort of apply here to know exactly if it is there to find this out. I don't suppose that Varen, in the moment there, you were able to contact him. I don't suppose he was able to tell you any details around him.
Just that there are red walls with glass, no windows or doors. That's it.
I think in this moment Talion would speak up. At the very least, we could try and look for the woman, the one who took him, and I'll use minor illusion to create create an illusion of who I saw take
Yeah.
from the party.
A tiefling woman in a long red sort of robe with these crystals in her hands, in her sort of embedded in her skin on her forearm. He sort of looks over and says, I've tried to look into this person as well. We don't have any names, information, and like that. We know him from like from the sighting here. However, the few individuals under my employ who have attempted scrying spells have all failed. This person is using some sort of mask spell like Nistel's magic aura, or perhaps a non-detection spell. We are unable to find this person. But we are certain this magic will fade. We will keep trying every single day. That's why I have the sending stone here for you. Should we learn anything more for you to be able to act on, we will inform you immediately.
I might be able to find an answer to that when we make it over there.
Very good. Now, I mentioned Rexentrum. Rexentrum is the capital. It would be the most dangerous place for you all to go, but we have some of our people there. We had an agent, one of my own agents went into hiding some time ago that I've called upon to sort of re-emerge. A young woman, her name is Helene. She will be helping you all, although she has found a sort of a hiding spot beneath the city, a little too close to a certain criminal organization that, well, it seems that most believe has extinct within the Empire. A group of common thieves and cutthroats. You might have heard the name Myriad before. I don't believe there'll be a problem of any kind for you as long as you stay out of their way. So once you're in the city, if you can find a way into the beneath the city, the agent in question, she has left some marks that should be easy enough to find for members of the dynasty. Yeah, there will be symbols. Yes, Captain.
At the mention, if anyone's watching, at the mention of the myriad, Talion is clasping his left shoulder very tightly.
He says, this agent is very reliable, although they've had some hiccups in the past. So I wouldn't necessarily ask any action of them. There were some complications with them before, but they're reliable enough. They're loyal is certain. Is a certain. So find Helene in Rexentrum and proceed from there. That's about all I wanted to speak with you all. I know that precision, pragmatism, and practice make perfect. But I've learned over some of the many years I've served as the Shadow Hand that individuals like yourselves, mercenaries, adventurers, or heroes, whatever you wish to call yourselves, work almost entirely off of some preparation and a lot of improvisation. So rather than get in your way and tell you how to do what I'm asking you to do, I've always found it a safer bet to let you rely on your own strange and at most times unpredictable skills. Namely, I would want nothing more than to play out this entire scheme and to plan here, but I have an understanding that that probably won't work out the way I want it.
I have a question for you, actually.
Yes.
The offending den that betrayed everybody.
Deviana, yes.
What's going to happen to it?
Well, many of their members will be incarcerated in the dungeons of penance beneath the city for whatever time is determined by the rest of the judicial system is appropriate for their treasonous punishment. Their leader, Zin Deviana, will be executed for her crimes. The rest of them who were involved with the Children of Malice and worship of Lolth will all be executed, while the others, some of them whose story so far seems to be that they were that they were doing this unbeknownst. This was happening unbeknownst to them. Will be investigated and incarcerated until such thing is disproven. Treason is punishable by death at times of war. Don't forget that. Very much so. The same is true on the other side of the mountains. And he sort of gives you a look here, Alcina.
Trust me, as somebody who has been doing this for a while, I understand that all too well. But I was curious. They have a spot open, it seems.
Sorry. Gonna raise an eyebrow.
Don't take this the wrong way. Still, I am a businesswoman above all else. Deviana is down a good chunk of its house with, I don't know, the bottom of the bottom being the only ones that were unknowing of everything that happened.
He sort of narrows his eyes here. You see, he immediately understands what you're talking about, right? This is a clever man. He sort of looks at you, says, Miss Alcina, if you could please go ahead and stop beating around the proverbial bush and ask exactly what's on your mind here.
I like it here, and Alondra likes it here. My business can only go so far. If
Caravespa to sort of, I don't know, become the head of this house, this den. Would go a long way to helping that future, I think.
He narrows his eyes at you, says, "You are asking this with an understanding that I don't innately trust you and will be keeping a stern eye on you for as long as you'd be here, huh?"
Indeed, I am.
He looks amongst your party here. He looks to you and says, "Bring my brother back home, and I will ensure that you all, or just yourself, are proclaimed as a newest den to be added to the dynasty's noble families. After all, we have many of these noble families who have been attempting to become dens for some time now. Who's to say that the destroyers of Doomeran and saviors of the Tascan don't deserve such an honor?"
Absolutely perfect.
He looks amongst everyone here. Talion, he looks to you. You feel a little sort of shimmer, like a strange kind of, almost like a heat in the back of your mind, and you hear his voice in your head as he says to you, the whole time you're across the mountains, keep a close eye on this one. I don't trust them. I don't think we ever truly 100% could.
Understood. I see in my mind.
Mm-hmm. He looks back to you, gives a nod at you, Alcina here. Very well. Is there any additional questions? If not, prepare yourself for tomorrow. If you think you have everything you need to leave today, be my guest. But I would suggest looking into whatever preparations, any special gear you're looking to acquire, anything like that. One last thing. Should it be absolutely necessary, and he provides to you guys these bracelets, these gold and silver bracelets, says these are simple magical artifacts. They will provide a illusionary appearance for every single one of you. It is an enhanced, empowered version of a spell known as Disguise Self, the duration of which will remain as long as you wear these bracelets. If you do not wish to travel as elves or points over to Talion, dark elves, perhaps a halfling or not here, you can use these to alter your appearance to seem more common and more expected of the people in the Empire.
This is a replacement for my ring that was taken.
These are very powerful magical items that are reserved to some of the shadowed hands, the members of my own order that keep a watchful eye on everything that goes on here. These do not require attunement.
Ooh.
These, my friends, are basically the Hat of Disguise. However, they are sort of a more powerful version of it that lets you basically just once per day cast it, and it lasts 24 hours, right? You just have a disguise that lasts all day without having to worry about it. They know they're sending you into the lion's den here, so they're providing you with some means of survival. You guys can mark down a bracer or a circlet or it can be an earring or a ring, even if you want it to really be, of disguise.
Do you have something like that for a weapon?
How do you mean?
Maybe if you have something like that for a weapon, we wouldn't have to cover the staff, or
Oh, I see. It affects the wearer, the wielder of the bracer. Unfortunately, does not. It does not affect. So it'll. The illusion will make it so that you appear different, that your gear appears different, and such. However, should you draw a weapon of some sort of proportions or size that clips through the illusion, that part will be obvious.
Okay, then.
Oh.
I
So
should get
yes,
to
you
work.
still need something to cover up the staff. Yes.
Where can I purchase some gold sheets?
Yeah, absolutely, Rav, like you messaged, easily enough, you can go find materials here throughout the town. No one's gonna charge you anything for it. You are hero of the dynasty here. You are the destroyer of Doomeran. You can spend the rest of the day making this sort of it's sort of like a golden top for the staff.
Yeah, it wants to make it so it has a little trap door, so if it wants to show off the crystal, it can still be shown.
Awesome. There we go. There is a sheath, Ayla. You see, Odo produces by the next day a sheath for your staff, hiding it from most sights.
Thank you, Odo.
Of course.
Do we all need to do a lot of things before we go?
I need to go speak with Ray, I guess.
Yes.
Yes. To mention here, Blade Master Odo, Captain Olios, one Ilivare Olios, actually inquired about what the rescue plan is going to be. She sort of requested to be put on this assignment as well, but my suggestion, I suppose calmer heads prevailed. She is a captain of a major den. Her den might have been nearly destroyed, but still, Asarius needs a leader. I believe she's currently preparing to travel on back to Asarius in a few days. So I will leave you to that. You should find her in one of the rooms here in the palace.
And we'll go do that.
Yeah, excellent. Essek looks to you all, says, is there anything else? Any other questions? Anything at all?
Italian will speak up. Have you any luck with the special request I asked of you?
He looks on back to you and says, kind of looks amongst your friends here and gives you a look of like, do you want to talk about this in private or is this okay?
I'm very curious what happened 20 years ago.
Italian looks at Alcina.
Well, it's probably private, so I would leave.
It's fine. Go ahead, Shadowhand.
You see the Shadowhand staring over to Alcina, just not making any moves or anything, just sort of looking, right? Just unblinking, staring over kind of to her, and then looks over to Talion and says, the captain here has asked me to look into an individual of interest. We spoke briefly about this before, and over the year that he's been here, I've been helping him search with limited luck. There is a mention of this person. Captain has asked me to look into a drow woman that has, well, moved here about 20 or so.
Yeah. Minor correction.
Yes.
The father was drow.
Hold on. I thought, let me see here. Oh, yes. Sorry. What did I say? Did I say mother?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. That's just me mixing up the words in the moment. Yes, he says, a individual of question, a man who moved here some years ago, some 20 or so years ago. I've been looking for some time here, and while many individuals have passed across the borders before the times of war here, I believe, Captain, I've found one McCarlin, an individual who was a traveler of sorts that has spent a lot of time across the many continents before returning to homeland here. And he gives you a little paper here. He says, I don't know much about this individual, but I know that they are currently staying in a small town here in the dynasty. Should you ever make your way over towards Erzin, I would suggest looking him up.
And takes the paper and puts it in his pouch, and thank you.
He gives you this name, McCarlin. He gives you a nod here and says, kind of to the rest of the party, well, that said, is there anything else? The day grows long and there's still plenty work to be done.
Nothing else from me.
Nothing else from me either.
Very well. Thank you all. This is a very brave and dangerous thing you're doing. I'll see you tomorrow for the send-off.
Hey, Sean, thanks for resub. Appreciate it. 12 months. Hell
and
yeah.
He sort of escorts you out of his chamber here as he returns to work. As Odo, you head on down the hallway and find where Captain Ilavereolios is staying. You open the door, you see she's currently sort of kind of adjusting one of her sort of metal boots, her sabatons here. As she kind of looks over to you. She seems to be sort of kind of like on guard, a little jumpy, kind of spins around, looks at you, says, "Oh, it's you. Hello. You,
Hey, Ray.
You seem to have survived through this chaos as well? What a
certainly.
shit show.
Can't leave you hanging.
Yes, eternity would be all too boring without my brave little duelist, wouldn't it? So smiles.
Really gotta say little?
Well, I find it attractive if it means anything. Gives you
Well, by all means.
What a shit show. I thought we were all going to die. I never would have expected it on day of celebration of our victory. Well, really your victory in Doomeran. All I did was try to lead their army halfway and then get kidnapped.
That was unfortunate, but you were doing your part. Not the kidnap part, but the leading.
I suppose in some way I greatly inspired the young, brave duelist. Give him more of an incentive to destroy his foul enemies. I'll take that.
Of course. But I will be taking leave here, I think, rather soon.
Again, where now?
We're going
Tell me you're bailing on me.
We're going back for the task end.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. I'm just looking for just about any distraction. Forget my mind off of what happened here yesterday. Yes, that is understandable. I've actually requested to be put on the same task. Has the Shadow Hand mentioned anything?
He did bring it up, but he made a point that you have a house to lead. But
Yes.
I could distract you for the evening if you like.
She takes off her armored sort of gauntlets and says, "Well, don't just stand there. This armor takes a while to take off. Better get to it." And she closes the door with a little mage hand behind you as you sort of walk into the room. Meanwhile, the rest of you guys head on out to do some sort of like shopping and preparations for this travel to the Dwendalian Empire, the land of the enemy? Question mark. The sort of, kind of, yes.
I mean, I wanna do some. I'm gonna shop and get some stuff, but I do wanna make sure I stay to the place to pray because I did promise his mom I would be there.
Yes. Daetra Thalis meets with you later that day in one of the temples of the Luxon, as she sort of gives you a silent nod, and she prays there with you, sort of in silence, mostly for her part. And as the sermon is sort of kind of going on, at one point you hear kind of quiet sobbing, and you kind of look over to your side, and you see she's sort of kind of trying to continue with her little prayer, but you see some tears rolling down her face.
She would try to comfort her, but I know she doesn't like to be touched. So she would try to comfort her as best as she can.
Yeah. I think she looks to you at one point and kind of, after she kind of calms down just a little bit, and says, "You know, when they were little, Essek was always so studious, so well behaved, and Varen was always a troublemaker. He was loud. He would get his brother in all kinds of trouble. Well, he would get into all kinds of trouble. Varen would have to... Essek would have to get him out of there. They always thought I never noticed it, but I did. I always did, and he would... There was this one time, and as she starts, like, remembering and telling about it, you see her start to, like, cry, like profusely cry. Tears begin to sort of roll down her face, as I think she just sort of puts her head sort of onto your shoulder here and says, "I just want to see my boy again. Huh? I just want to see him back." Yeah.
I'm gonna try my best to bring him home, I promise.
How could this happen? He was... I knew every day he risked his life back in Bazozan, Tascan, the brave hero he is. Every day I feared it'd be the last I hear from him. But it never came. He grew so strong, strapping, powerful, true... A child a mother can be so proud of. To go down, to go away like this, captured by our most foul enemy. I would give anything to hear him again, see him again. And she looks to you here and says, "Essek mentioned that you and the rest of the heroes are going after him. Is that correct?"
Yes, it is correct.
I've not asked much of you before, but... And I understand that I've not perhaps been most fair with you. I've not given you a proper chance. But it all seems so trivial now, as I stand before you like this and humbly ask. No, as I beg. Please. Bring my boy back. Bring your Varen back.
You don't have to beg. I was going to go for him anyway. And don't worry about how everything's been between you and I. I'm not thinking about that anymore. We look at brighter futures with Varen here.
She just sort of kind of slowly nods. And I think she sort of turns to look at the giant kind of chandelier-esque kind of symbol of the Luxon that dangles at the center, sort of suspended from the ceiling at the center of this temple of light. And I think instinctually she sort of holds your hand through this prayer here as you recite the words and say the rites.
Who's that Pokemon?
Eventually she herself and heads back home.
Yeah, and she'll head back home to everyone.
You guys meet up back at the manor. You see Isbil, your major domo, kind of looks and says,
Lords and ladies, you are to be away for some time, yes? Is there anything you will need for your trip and journey? Anything that could be ordered and delivered post-haste? Any sort of potions or foods or rations of any kind?
I think we may need some rations and some potions just in case.
Very well. I will have someone send for potions outside, and I'm certain that Dreza, gestures to the orc lady, the chef, says Dreza can prepare some long-lasting foods for you. I must say, in the year that I've served you here, I've quite grown to like you all as noble and valorous lords and ladies. I do hope, oh so greatly, that I get to see you again. Please return to us safely.
and he sort of gives a polite, deep bow. Just a crack in his back. Very old elf.
Oh, goodness.
I think she would give him a hug. I think I'm gonna leave all my other books with all my drawings in it home, and I'm just gonna get a brand new one. I don't want anything in there that anyone can see that has like pictures of elves
new
and
books
things like
and
that.
everything. Excellent.
Yeah, just because I
excellent.
don't want any of that stuff. I want to leave it here at home.
Excellent. Good stuff, good stuff. You guys get some fresh gear, fresh inventory, whatever you needed for the trip here. Speaking just out of game here, strictly healing potions or any special kind of potions, do we need any? How are we doing on those?
I got some healing potions. I'm okay.
Okay. For reference here, you guys have some time and access to like the fucking the royal kind of treasury stuff. They can give you some of these potions and sell you some of this shit. 50 gold normal potion, 100 big potion, 500 superior potion, and then it's 2,500 gold if you guys are willing. They will be able to sell you. They have I have two of these supreme healing potions. These are the 10d4 plus 40 giant potion.
How much are those?
They have
2,500 gold. They only got two of these.
How much is that in platinum?
250. Minus 10, basically. Excellent. There you go. Mark down you have a supreme healing potion. This will most of the time top you off. This is going to heal you up, no problem. All right.
If no one else is gonna buy the other one, I'll buy it.
Gotcha. Go ahead and spend 2,500. You have a supreme healing potion.
How much for the greater?
Other than that,
yeah,
greater are 100. Superior are 250. Oh, sorry, 500.
Superior is how much points wise?
Superior is 8d4 plus 8.
Okay. By 4.
4. There you go. That's 500 per here, as you have yourself 4 greater healing potions. Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
4 superior healing potions.
I don't have a lot of potions, so I will get maybe some greater potions.
Additionally, I was gonna say, additionally, if you guys want any potions of resistance, they give you resistance to any damage type, but quite literally any one. For 1 hour, those guys cost 200 gold pieces. Never too bad to have some of those as well. Your enemies keep throwing fireballs at you. These guys that you're going after are called, or well, here, colloquially called the Scourgers and Scorchers for their use of often fire magic. Yeah, not a bad thing to protect yourself.
All right, how much are those?
Those are 200 gold, 1 hour of resistance.
I roll by 5.
5 of those? Okay, 1,000 gold. There you go. You got 5 potions of fire resistance. Excellent. Spend some of the cash. Yes.
They have any of the liquid rage potions?
Liquid rage? No, they do not, unfortunately. That is a very uncommon potion, even out here. Liquid rage, I believe you got from, I want to say from Pazuzu you got that one.
Wacko.
From Wacko, that's right. Wacko does not have any of those around. Now that the time of sort of like her main prospect was going after she was employed for going after the Children of Malice, she's not been producing potions as often. Also, she's not here. She's in Asarius. That's where she sort of operates from.
How about those potions of martial advantage?
Yes, those can be provided to you for 100 gold per potion. For a total of 8 potions are available. Those are really good. We want those. We like those a lot.
So 100 platinum would be 10?
What? No. 100 gold. Yeah. So yes. Sorry, you said 100 platinum would be 10. I was like, what? Hold on. Wait, no. 100 gold is 10 platinum indeed. For the potion of martial advantage, it says you drink it, and for the next minute, your weapon deals an additional dice of damage. For those of you that don't have special abilities to add damage to your attacks, for example, Talion has sneak attack, which adds a few dice. You yourself, Odo, you don't have many things that add to your damage, so this is pretty great for you. This pretty much kind of doubles your damage at times.
Right. How many available?
There's 8 available, 100 gold each.
Odo will buy them all. He'll pass them out. People need them.
Gotcha.
He'll get them. If anyone wants one, just take one.
Gotcha. Does anyone want a potion of martial advantage?
Is that for like hitting things?
This is when you hit something with a weapon attack, they take an additional dice of damage of that weapon.
Ayla would pass.
Yeah.
Italian will pass as well.
Gotcha. Alcina?
Take some then.
Maybe one for Alondra. Just hold it. Maybe put it aside
You have a
just in
few.
case.
You have a few. Alcina, how many would you like? Like.
How many do we have?
You 8.
8.
Autobot 8.
Oh,
8,
we have
yep.
8.
They only last a minute, right? So this is like I drink
I'll
this,
take
I
two
go
of them.
crazy.
How many would you
All
like?
right, 2. Go ahead and mark.
I'll take
2.
2.
Yep, got it.
Yeah, 2 potions of martial advantage for you, and you still have 6 on you here. Odo.
Correct.
Very good. Additionally offered to you now that you've found them a few times and now are able to sort of kind of use them a little more here. Ayla offered to you real fast here, if you're interested, for 100 gold each. They have 4 total of these. Written prayer. This is the thing that you use up and burns up when you cast a bless spell. And when you cast it, the bless spell adds a d6 rather than a d4 for the duration.
Yeah. How many they have?
They have 4 total 100 gold each.
That would be 40 platinum, right?
That would be 40 platinum, yeah. 400 gold. You have 4 of these now. Written prayers. You can just in brackets mark down bless spell. Just lets you cast a more powerful bless spell, which is very nice.
I have a very
And
odd.
for go ahead.
And then one more potion that they have here available that you guys previously encountered that could be useful to you here. For a total of 500 gold, they only have one of these, a potion of maximum power. You drink this potion, you cast a spell that is 4th level or lower. Next spell you cast that is 4th level or lower, rather than rolling for damage, it just does maximum damage instead on every single dice. That's a 500 gold to do max damage with one spell, if anyone's interested.
I would buy that for Zach. I would buy that. How much is 50 gold?
I can mark off some of his money here if you want it.
Well, I'll buy it, and if he wants it, he can have it.
Yeah, just give it to him, give him money or whatever.
Yeah, and then that way, if he doesn't want it, then I'll use it.
There you go. Mark off 500 gold and add the potion of maximum power.
I have a very odd question.
Mm-hmm.
Is there like some armor or something I can make or buy for Kada?
For Kada? Ooh. You would definitely... Are you proficient in Smith's tools?
Odo is.
Yes, very good. I knew that already, but I wanted to just have you sort of show that off. But that said, yes, you could have definitely been working on something over the year here. Let's see the quality of it here with a roll. Rav, go ahead and roll me a Smith's Tools roll with either wisdom, intelligence, or well, actually dexterity as well here, because this is very fine, sort of intricate work for such a small creature. I'm going to say on 20 or above. Nice. 21 here. You have been working on a suit of tiny armor for Kada, your pseudo-dragon familiar that has traveled with you from the very beginning. You are able to produce a fine suit of armor for her here. Her AC with this, and you can name this armor whatever you wish it to be here. And I'm going to give you an option here. You can either make this armor normal, which would give Kada an AC of 17. If, however, you add an additional 500 gold, you can choose to make this armor either a mithril set of armor for your pseudo-dragon, or a adamantine suit of armor. Now, this is a minion. It's not going to have... this is a summoned little familiar. It's not going to have the same effects those armors would have on us. So, for example, if you have spent 500 gold to make it mithril, Kada will have advantage on stealth rolls. If you choose to make it adamantium instead, Kada will ignore the first successful hit's damage against her every day.
Mithril.
Mithril, sneaky little dragon. Very good.
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. The second one, the adamantine.
Oh, adamantine. Okay, gotcha. All right. Kada now has AC of 17. Now, little pseudo-dragon with AC of 17 is pretty nice and ignores 1 hit of damage per day. Yeah?
Excellent.
All right. Adamantine armor. First kit.
And we'll make it flashy for her.
Hell yes. Hell yes. All right, very cool. There you go. 500 gold, mark it off, and you protect your minion here. Very good. All right, excellent. Is there any other shopping to be done?
For greater healing potions, I just want a couple of those.
100 each. You can find a total of 18 of them.
100 each? I'll take 5, and I'll mark it.
There we go. Mark off 500. You have 5 greater healing potions. Additionally, let me see what else you can find in here that could be nice. These kind of may be useful, kind of. You are offered as well some potions of growth as well. These potions will set you back about 150 gold. You can find up to 4 of these out there. They're basically, you've kind of seen these before. Potion of growth is basically you drink it, you have the enlarge spell on yourself for 10 minutes, which means your size grows by 1, and your attacks deal extra 1d4 points of damage. 150 for these bad boys. Anyone interested? We got 4 of these. More damage potion.
Odo doesn't need it.
Who's that Pokemon?
All right, I think we're chilling.
Yeah.
All right, excellent. I think that's it for shopping then, friends.
Before we head back to the Nightingale estate, Talion will take a moment to sneak off.
Gotcha.
And once
Where are
he
you
feels
off
like
to?
he's gonna find somewhere like secluded and just to be by himself.
Gotcha.
He'll pull out his sending stone and send a message. America.
Yes. What do you say?
Update. Teleporting to Rexingtrum tomorrow. Have Dynasty contact. Maybe at our usual meetup.
Very good, very good. To clarify, though, we're gonna rewind just a little bit here. You're teleporting to Blumenthal, which is like a day away from Rexentrum.
Gotcha.
Right?
That was what I wanted
But
to
yes,
clarify.
that's fine. That's fine. You can totally say that in the message here. You hear, very well. Good work, kid. Talk to you soon. All right.
Once that's done, I'll head back to the Nightingale estate.
Okay. Yep. Excellent. You guys gather your things, you prepare your weaponry and such, you put on these bracers, these bracelets of disguise on yourself, and as you all gather, for one last time here, hopefully not the final time, at the Lucid Bastion, Essek there standing ahead before you, he gives you all a look, a nod, a sort of kind of Godspeed gesture. We see as Ayla holds aloft the staff of the wayward, of the wayward traveler, and tapping it. The staff of the Horizon Walker, as she taps it on the ground. Powerful magic begins to take place. Blue strands of energy begin to sort of wrap around her here. Strange geometric shapes begin to form in the ground as a teleportation spell fires off. You are shunted through time and space, and in an instant, you travel half a world away. As you blink your eyes open and look around you, you see a vast field up ahead. Hear the sound of cheers and music and laughter from below you, as you see Empire. You look to see a vast forest and rolling fields of tall grass, cows sort of moving through some of the fields here. As far off in the distance across the hillsides, you see a few people riding on horseback, kind of shepherding a bunch of sheep that are being moved slowly into their pens. A small village down below you, just south of you here. As you see all of these kind of people Humans, dwarves, elves, some halflings around and are walking about. You see the vast fields and farmland here, and many guard towers surrounding them here as you guys look upon this scene from the distance at the edge of the forest here. Far, far off in the distance to the north, you can see walls of Rexentrum, distant and foreboding. As you look amongst yourselves,
Good to be home.
Where are we exactly?
Outside Blumenthal.
Is it always like this here?
Yeah, pretty much. Why?
I've never ventured this way. I've always been in Bethesda.
It's an adventure.
What you will find is that a large chunk of the empire is actually a lot like this. Sweeping plains and forests, a lot of farmland out here. Quiet and generally a slow, easy life.
you guys see a bunch of children sort of playing together at like a riverbed. There's a small creek, a river nearby. They're sort of laughing and playing with each other. You see a farmer, a big old straw hat on him, some like suspenders on, wearing like over his shirt. He sort of wave to you guys as he's plucking some apples from his orchard here. As you guys begin to kind of slowly walk on through and kind of look on around here. Most of you here, recall your first encounters in the lands of Jorhas. Broken badlands, dry and hot air. The very floor beneath you drenched in demonic blood. Demonic invasions, fiendish creatures, roving, undead, all kinds of horrors. And you look across the road here to see an old woman sort of being helped to stand up at these two young sort of like, they look like, grandkids of some sort. Strapping young men. One of them walks over to a mule and helps. The other one sort of pushes this like simple farming tool behind it and sort of tills the land behind him as they sort of kind of yell at each other and bicker about not doing it right. You kind of look over to the other side. There's two young women who are sort of working that have sort of set up a little like pear tree, and they're plucking some pears from above. They kind of see you all in your disguises, looking like some of the locals here, right? And they kind of look around and grab a little basket, and you see them kind of pluck some, apples and pears and such, and they bring it, some plums as well, and they bring a little basket. One of them says, this one is just for the road. Have a safe journey out there, travelers. And she sort of gives you a little basket of fruit to go.
I will accept it.
Very kind. Thank you.
Very appreciated.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Have a safe trip out there. And they sort of give you a little wave as you guys kind of pick up your things here. As you begin to travel and look at how different the life is on this side here, as you begin to walk into Blumenthal here. Friends, this is where we're going to pause our session for tonight here as you all arrive into Empire. Next time, we're going to properly explore what is going on this side of the world as we make our way towards Rexentrum, the capital of the Dwendalian Empire, the lair of the beast, or just a place apparently of great balance, of great plenitude, as it seems on this side of the border. For next time as well, friends, I would love a small favor from you all, which is much like Yes, as you can see there. Yes, as Talion already, and for Ayla as well. I would love a little token and some art for you guys of what you look like in your disguises while you're on this side of the border here. Oh, Jen changed her mind. Very well. That one's cool
I like
as
that.
well.
I like that one better.
Hell yes. Very cool. Very cool.
Sorry. You said there's halflings here
yeah.
already, right? They're not uncommon?
There's what?
There's halflings
yeah,
here?
halflings. Yeah. Halflings are the third most common race of people you're going to see in the Empire. It goes humans, dwarves, halflings, then elves.
Yeah, I don't probably want to use as a disguise at all.
Okay, you got it. You got it. Very well.
Only because
excellent.
you said that elves are not really here, or like they don't have papers.
Not extremely common here. There's only like 2 or 3 locations where elves really live here in the Empire.
Okay.
All right,
Yep,
all right.
Alcina's just
Alcina, you
being
look
herself.
around. Yeah, Alcina, you look around. Home, sweet home. As you absolutely, we have that like gladiator scene, right? As you run your hand through the grass, the tall grass, as you slowly
Right.
walk back, right? Like, home, beautiful. Yes, friends, that's where we're gonna pause for tonight, and we continue next week as we arrive into Wendalian Empire. Thank you all so much for playing as always. Slightly shorter session here, but this feels like a good place to pause it for tonight. GG's to you all. Is everyone good for next week? Well, still, we won't have Zach around for, I believe, 2 more weeks. At least next week for sure, but I don't know about the week after. I don't remember.
I'm good for the week after. I'm good for next week. Zach should be week after, but I won't be because I'll be gone.
Right. Gotcha. Awesome.
I'm all good for next week.
Very good. Cool.
Yeah.
Jen?
Yeah, I'm good for next week. My son's birthday is that Friday.
Hey, grats.
But hopefully the cake will be done that I can play on Thursday.
So okay, Zach's,
very cool.
Because we're going to... Huh?
Zach's birthday is on Friday too.
Yeah, him and my son share this birthday.
Hell yes.
It's a Taco Bell cake that I have to make.
Wow. Of being an elf. I just saw the Jess said the mention. Scared of being an elf, being rare, picks a tiefling instead.
I don't
even
know.
more rare. Yeah. Perfect. Yes. And Jess, I don't remember. I don't remember hearing you. You good for next week?
Yeah, I don't have anything.
Hell yes. All right. Thank you all so much for playing as always. I'm gonna hop out. I gotta go feed the cats. But until next week, stay safe, everyone. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your loved ones, and I will catch you all. I will catch you nerds next week for some Wendalian Empire adventuring. See you all then.
Have a good night.
All right, later.
Good night, everyone. Bye.
Okay, that was our Wildemount campaign. I should be back Sunday for our Tal'Dorei campaign, Adventures of the Dawnguard. Yeah, so that'll be fun. Appreciate you all hanging out. I'm gonna go and raid out. We're gonna go somewhere. I don't get to raid them very often, but they're playing Baldur's Gate. A friend of mine from the other role-playing game I play, in Ambrose. So we're gonna go over there. Make sure you say hi, say hello. The other D&D, or not D&D, it's the other role-playing game I play for the Blackout Club. It's a lot of fun. I should be back on Sunday, guys, is that right? And then maybe Saturday, some Marvel Rivals, maybe? Alright. Love you all. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah. Let's go say hi to Ambrose. Thank you, Jackie. Have a lovely, lovely night. Oh, thank you. I hope you get some sleep. Hope you feel better. Thank you. All right, love y'all.
Anything good on his body? Money.